So traders, I ended up doing it again back to back, buying put options at market open at the low of the contracts when the stock price is at the high. I ended up trading Roblox directly off the pre-market watch list that I sent out to members. Basically within the watch list, it had stated once Roblox goes from green to red on the day, I'm going to be buying put options. As soon as it went red on the day, I bought the puts and I made an 86% return in 5 single minutes on the contracts. I put in about 10% of my portfolio into those puts and my account is up 8.53% on the day. It's been a record-breaking week. My portfolio is currently up nearly 40% on the week. I want to give a big shout out to some students who are extremely patient with Roblox. This was absolutely insane. Hash Trader made a 415% return. He went a little bit further out of the money and he was patient. Within 23 minutes from market open, his contracts went up 400%. If you were to put in just $400 into those puts, you would have made 4 times the cost of Trader Society within just 20 minutes from market open. It's absolutely insane. Big shout out to Jeremy who ended up making a 240% return. This was by far, and this is the beauty of trading, Friday expirations, 0-date expirations. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to put you onto this strategy. I'm going to show you how I'm able to consistently buy put option contracts at the low directly towards market open and finish trading within the first 30 minutes of day. While the stock price is at the high, we're buying puts when the contracts are at the lows, and we are banking within the first 30 minutes of market open. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you the strategy that I used on Roblox. We actually had a member who joined last night, and he gave me this trade idea. And I ended up trading based off of that trade idea and information that I'd given him. He was asking me about Roblox. So I'm going to teach you the strategy, and then we're going to do the in-depth price action analysis on the stock market. We're going to be going over the SPY and the VIX, preparing you for upcoming trades this week. I'm going to be sharing with you how to trade the best setups at the best prices. Before we get into all this, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date, to learn how to trade the best setups at the best prices. This previous closing price, this gap close reversal strategy is truly the best strategy within the market that I've come across. It will get you in before the major trend reversal. It will get you in at the lows on these put option contracts when the stock is sitting towards the highs, then it reverses and it collapses. Typically for me, this strategy works over 75% of the time. So let's get right into it. So I want to give a big shout out very, very quickly here to some students before we get into the lesson. First off, big shout out to Lee, man. Lee has been absolutely killing it. He knows what works for him. He's been killing it on Tesla, and he is getting ready to quit his job and become a full-time trader. And he says, we have an amazing team here. Appreciate all of you guys. Much love. Absolutely insane, man. Lee had a record-breaking day. He must be very, very close to closing in on 100K. That was his goal. And you could just see right here, he ended up making a $25,000 profit on his portfolio. It's just absolutely insane what you can do with these options if you understand how it is that they work. Big shout out to James, 3% on the day. That return is absolutely insane. If you continue to compound the count, 3% is unbelievable. Big shout out to BSB, absolutely killing it. 2% return, playing some light size on Roblox. These are phenomenal percentage returns. Big shout out to Tipsy, absolutely killing it. He ended up using the gap close reversal strategy on Visa put options, flipping $400 into $2,100. Absolutely insane, man. That's more than 6 times the cost of Trader Society. It's absolutely insane. That's more than 5 times the cost of Trader Society. It's absolutely insane what you can do with these options. So you guys are absolutely crushing it, man. Big shout out to the members within Trader Society. What we're going to do is we're going to recap the trade first. I'm going to show you how I'm able to be done trading within the first 30 minutes. The beauty of my strategy is it gets you in at the best price possible. Not only is it a trend reversal strategy, you get in before the reversal. We're setting the trend. That's the beauty of this strategy. We're trading the best setup at the best price. I am typically done within the first 30 minutes to 1 hour from market open. That is what I can do. I can put you onto that mastery. So not only is this creating wealth, as long as you're compounding your account, following the rules, cutting your losses short. I like to cut my contracts at 20%. And then in terms of my wins lately have been 80 to 100% within like the first 10 minutes. Absolutely insane. If I were just a little bit more patient, I could be hitting 150 to 200%. I'm going to be going over the mistakes in terms of selling too soon. But the true wealth of this is not only is it financial freedom, but it's time freedom. you can be done within the first 30 minutes to 1 hour a day. And that's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to teach that to you. So let's get into the strategy. So in terms of the pre-market watch list, I had a couple stocks on my radar, and you could see right here, this was the list. We had Roblox at the top. We had SPY, we had Crowd, we had Snapchat, we had Visa, we had Facebook, and then this new stock that gapped up, FNKO. So I told members that I'm put focused. I'm looking to buy put options on these stocks at the previous closing price. So if they can hit the previous closing price where they previously closed at on Thursday, and if they can reject, meaning they can react as resistance, they can start to, struggle, they start breaking down, then I'm gonna look to play puts. And I did the exact same thing I did. It's just a slightly different strategy, but I did the same thing in a sense of what I did yesterday. If you guys watched my video yesterday, you are well aware that I bought the puts on Visa because it was the only one that was green on my watch list when everything else was selling off. Roblox was the only one green besides FNKO, which is something I wasn't too interested in. Roblox was the only one green while everything else was selling off hard. So I told myself, as soon as this goes red, I'm buying put options. I have my orders filled out. I have my platform set up to where I push one button on Webull. You just click one button. It's already all pre'd out. You just type in your size, you buy at the ask, and you just click one button, instantly get filled just like that on the platform, right? So as soon as it goes red, I submit my orders, I get filled instantly. In the contracts, this is the insane part. Check this out. And as you can see on the watch list at 9:27 a.m., Roblox puts at open is my top watch. All it has to do is reject the previous closing price, meaning it goes from green to red on the day. This was the top setup, and so many people banked on this one. So in terms of this, 9:32 a.m., this was live on stream as well, I bought the put options on Roblox. I like to stay at the money in terms of my strike price. That's what I prefer to do. I play it safe. I stay at the money. Some people like to go further out of the money. I like to play it safe and stay at the money. So I went with the $30 strike, and I bought the puts at 9:32 a.m. at 69 cents. And then I was scaling into that too. But I bought them literally at the lows. Look at this. This is the put option chart that I bought on Roblox. It's crazy. These contracts were at 6 cents. There was a gap to fill here, man. It's absolutely insane. They shot up to 253 today. But anyways, you can visually see right here at 9:32 a.m. at the lows, as soon as I got in, look at the price. As soon as I got in, it was at 69 cents. 1 minute later, it skyrocketed to 110. Do you guys realize that's a 50% return in 1 minute? And they shot up just 20 minutes later to $2.53. Imagine making a 50% return in just one single minute. And all Roblox did within that one single minute from 9:32 to 9:33, all it did was drop from $29.90 to $29.30. It dropped 60 cents in a single minute. Yet the contracts went up 50%. This is the beauty of trading an option, man. This is how you create wealth. You can minimize your risk by making these very lucrative returns. If you understand how to size, if you understand how to get filled at the best entry, like I said, as soon as this goes green to red, I'm playing puts. You could have done the same thing with Snapchat. Snapchat was another one that went green to red. You can visually see right here. It touched the previous closing price right in the pre-market, and then it went red, and it sold off very, very hard. Those puts printed exponential all from the watch list. We had some amazing stocks on the radar. They all printed from the watch list. Even Visa, the same strategy on Visa. Look at this. There was a gap to fill on Visa stock right here at $205.24. You know the gap close reversal strategy that I used yesterday? You could have used it again on Visa. Visa gapped down, and I told you guys it has to go back to the previous closing price for me to buy the puts. That's why I chose Roblox instead of everything else on the watch list. But later in the day, when I wasn't watching Visa, it ripped back up to the previous closing price, and it formed the best trend reversal candlestick confirmation, the most bearish candlestick trend reversal confirmation. If you see this candle, this is a gravestone doji, this gray candle right here, this gray candle right here. You see that at previous closing price, you gotta look to play the put options. It filled the gap, touched that previous support from yesterday, the previous low, reacted as resistance, filled the gap, had a reversal, and absolutely sold off. Do you guys realize how many times Visa stock has had a gap close reversal this week? Just this week alone, there was a gap to fill right here. It fills the gap, has a reversal, sells off. Just right here. Yesterday, this is the one I played. It filled the gap, it has a reversal, it sells off. And today, it fills the gap, it has a reversal. Are you guys seeing the potential? We are getting in at the exact top. Who is doing it? Who is showing you the strategy? It is simple. It is effective. It sets the trend. It gets you in at the best price. This is all it is that I'm doing. And it's working. And I'm consistently compounding the account. And I'm trying my best to instill discipline in other traders to just trade this one simple setup. So in terms of Roblox and why I bought the put options, this was slightly different than what I would normally do. This was an all-time low breakdown. When stocks crack their all-time lows, if you study the history of that stock and if you study how it reacts when it, goes below those all-time lows, if it has a big red day and it's known for closing week at the lows, you're going to want to buy puts on them. So I'm going to show you some examples, right, in terms of the potential I saw in this Roblox play. Right here was the all-time lows at the time, which was directly at $64. So I'm going back throughout the history and I'm seeing how Roblox normally reacts to when it hits new all-time lows. Does it close weak at the lows? Does it sell off hard? This is the day where it hit new all-time lows. You can just visually see you have this red day right here. It closes weak. And then the next day it sells off very hard. It goes from 64.50 all the way down to 56.70. The puts printed like crazy. And then let me show you. These are the new all-time lows right here at this wick. And you can see it has the red day just like last time towards the low of the wick. Next day it sells off very, very hard. Very big pullback, crashing for new all-time lows. You can just visually see right here. This is the new all-time low at 36. Has the red day. When it cracks the new all-time lows, big sell-off. You see this pattern. You see this pattern that I'm putting on to you every single time Roblox hits a new all-time low. And if it has this big red candle the day before it hits that new all-time low, look at this. You see how history repeats itself. You see what I'm showing you here? Right here's a big red day. It touches the all-time low right there. The next day, if it goes green to red, like it did right here, it went green to red, it had a little morning pop above the previous closing price. You wait for it to go under that blue line, that previous closing price, and then it sells off hard and puts print like crazy. You see that pattern? Look, same exact pattern. Roblox new 52-week low is right down here towards $29.50 to around $30, this support zone with big upside. It filled the gap right here, had a reversal, sold off hard. See the big red day right here, see the big red day right here, and then remember the next day when it cracked the new all-time low, it sold off very hard when it went from green to red. So once I noticed that this goes from green to red, I told myself, history is going to repeat itself, and this is going to happen what previously happened, where it breaks down the new all-time low and sells off hard and closes weak at the lows. And as you could see, that history repeated itself. So in terms of that strategy, that was an all-time low key breakdown using the chart history and similar patterns, and also understanding that this had a gap close reversal right here, which is bearish. It's selling off very hard, and this previous pattern showed that once it cracks the all-time low, it's going to sell off hard, right? So that was the one that I went with, and the reason why I chose that one instead of buying puts on SPY at open or buying puts on Visa at open when they were gapping down and still selling off. I told you guys, I get in at the previous closing price because these can rip back up and touch the previous closing price. And you could see later on into the day, Visa ripped back up and it hit the previous closing price. That could have happened in the morning. It's very possible. Same thing with SPY. SPY ripped back up. It hit the previous closing price. Look where the high of day was on SPY today at the previous closing price. That's the level I told you guys to buy puts on for the day as we were put option focused, right? So there was an opportunity to play gap close reversals in terms of today at market open and also during the midday. I didn't want to trade during midday. I had a very good day. The portfolio was up 8.5%. That's like literally basically the weekly goal that I've already exceeded basically 4 times this week. And with that being said, I didn't want to trade anymore, but there was some great trading opportunities midday. The price action is going to be a little bit more choppier, but if you're using the gap close reversal strategy, it tends to work extremely well no matter what time you're trading at. You just have to understand there is some slight differences trading midday versus trading market open in power hour. The volatility is already there, the momentum's already there, and the returns, there's nothing like it in terms of the percentage returns. The biggest ones really tend to be during the most volatile times, which is from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and then 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So on market open first 30 minutes of like market open, and power hour 3 to 4 p.m. Those are when the best volatility percentage returns tend to be, where you can take advantage of that momentum, get in, get out very, very quickly. That's how I like to trade. I try to stay away from midday, but there was opportunities and there was confirmations where you could have played put options at the previous closing price on the SPY and on Visa, definitely Visa. I would have been a lot more comfortable on Visa puts than SPY, considering that SPY bounced off of 405, towards those 52-week lows once again. But that was the strategy. So once I noticed that, Roblox stock, as soon as it went from, green to red on the day, that's when I bought the puts right here at 9:32 a.m. as soon as it went red, and they printed like crazy. Now, I sold within 5 minutes. The first minute, I was up 50%. What have I been telling you guys if you've been watching these videos? I told you guys I've been selling too soon, and I told you guys if I'm up like 30 to 50% instantly at market open within minutes, it tends to continue to go into my favor for the next 20 to 30 minutes. And I also tell you guys all the time, stocks tend to have micro reversals at 9:50 a.m. to 10 a.m. And look where Roblox had its micro reversal, right here at 9:56 a.m. So here's what I need to work on. I need to understand that, yes, the money is amazing. I'm scaling the account, I'm compounding it, I'm looking at the dollar gains, I'm looking at the P&L, I'm looking at the percentage return. I'm like, man, this is a lot, but I need to focus on trading the chart. I need to trade the chart, not the P&L, not the daily goals, not the percentage returns. I need to trade the chart. I need to work on scaling out within my trades instead of just completely getting out very, very quickly when I'm just up 30 to 50% within a couple of minutes, right? And I also need to understand that in terms of the strategy that I'm using, it tends to work in my favor when it works for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. So instead of just getting out so soon within a couple minutes, even though I'm up exponentially, try to be more patient. Try to hold it until at least about 9:45 a.m. So that's something that I'm going to work on, because within those minutes, it's a massive difference being up 80% to being up 250%. But regardless, still a phenomenal trade. The entries are 100% on point. I have to work on my exits. And then in terms of, how do you know when to exit? So like I told you guys, the box theory, we went over this within the live stream. This is something I have to work on. Hindsight's 2020. This is something I have to work on when I'm actually trading live. You could see right here, Roblox has a big sell-off. The first green candle, I always tell you guys, when a stock has a massive sell-off and that first green candle forms, you want to play it safe, take a little profit off, but leave a lot on to ride. Just a little profit off, but leave a lot on to ride. And what you want to do is you want to see how it reacts. So you take this candle right here, the previous candle, you take the low, 29.73. That's the high. That's going to be the high of your zone. You're looking for that because it bounced right here. You're looking for that previous support right around here to react as a resistance level. That's what you're looking for. If it reacts as a resistance, which it did, and it starts breaking down, you continue to hold it. So in terms of your risk can be towards the high of this box. And then once, if it tops out towards the high, it should crack the low of this box. And if you just study Roblox, there was absolute no reason to be locking in profits until like right around here. And I'm going to explain to you why. Right here, it cracks through support. It has a little bounce. That bounce, the high of this previous support, reacts as a resistance. See how the previous low of the candle is reacting as resistance, right? And then it cracks as it should. Right here, it has a small little bounce. See how the high of this is at the previous support, the previous little wick right here, lower highs. Previous support, now reacting as resistance. Continue to hold for the breakdown. Right here, it sells off hard. See how it's topping out, not even going back to previous support. It's forming much lower highs. No reason to sell. And then it just continues to go lower, and it had such a big pullback at that point. You really got to start locking in, especially when these trend reversal candlesticks are forming. And then in terms of, how do you identify when the reversal is going to occur? Right here, this is your resistance. Your resistance is up here at $28. It went to $27.30. If it starts to break above the low of this channel right here from $27.70 to about $28, if it starts to break above that, that means that it's no longer turning your previous support into resistance, into new lower highs. It's breaking above and it's trying to reverse. It's no longer turning that previous support into resistance, into new lower highs. So when could that have been determined? Right here, when it started to break out, form higher support, and trend up a little towards 28, that's when you know that the stock is starting to reverse and you really got to get out. Plus, there was a lot of trend reversal bearish confirmations, and it's like, how it really can't realistically sell off much more than it already did. It dropped so big so quickly from 30.44 to 27.30s. It's like, that's the best you're going to get on a situation like Roblox. And the put options were absolutely insane. They printed like crazy, man. The out of money ones were up over 400%. So that was the recap on Roblox. So what I have to work on is I have to work on trading the box theory, and then setting my risk towards the high of that box. And then in terms of profit taking, you could take 50% off at a key level, leave 50% on the ride, or you can take 40% off at a key level and then 40% off at another key level, and then you can leave 20% on for the big size. So I would do like a 50-50 or 40-40-20 scenario in terms of profit taking. I think the 40-40-20 would be much better. And then I just have to understand, in terms of how my strategy works, it tends to go into my favor till about 9:50 a.m. So if I can just be a little bit more patient within that time frame, instead of getting out within just a couple minutes, I can make an extra 50 to 150% return on the contracts, depending on what strike price I'm going with, how close they are to expiration. So obviously Thursdays and Fridays, the returns are going to be a lot more greater. So you got to be aware of that. But yeah, the returns can be a lot more exponential if I just be more patient and hold and get out till about 9:50 a.m. Like I said, micro reversals tend to occur 9:50 to 10 a.m., right? So if a stock has a big move in your favor, you don't really want to hold it past 9:50 to 10 a.m. Lunchtime is going to occur. It's going to become choppy. Theta decay is going to hurt you, and you could see a micro reversal. So keep these things in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. What I just said is very key. Now, let's go over some strategy plays. There was some midday opportunities, guys. Visa, the third gap close reversal where you could have bought puts at the high. It just blows my, like, if people aren't playing these, if people aren't trading these, like if you're not doing these at market open or doing these during later on the day, like if you're not trading these, you are missing out on the greatest opportunities within the market. I am taking the easiest trades, the no-brainer trades, the easiest ones to make money on, the ones it's just like, it can't fail me. It's just such a good level. It's not going to work all the time, but the level is just so phenomenal. It just tends to work in my favor. And that's all I'm doing. Just a couple trades per week. I'm trying to trade the best setups at the best prices. That's my style. That's what I'm dedicated to. And as you can see, Visa had previous support, bottom wicks, big upside potential right here, 207, 206, 205, yesterday's low, 203. All it's been trying to do is fill this gap at $201.10. We had people swing this for the gap close reversal to fill the gap below. Visa has had one gap close reversal here, two gap close reversals here, three gap close reversals here, four gap close reversals in the past 2 weeks. I ended up playing two or three of them. With that being said, this was the first one where it was a midday gap close reversal. This was a market open gap close reversal. Those are my favorites. Market open gap close reversal, that's my favorite. Market open gap close reversal. And then in terms of today, there was a midday gap close reversal. So what's the confirmation? How do you know when to buy puts? You say, Visa had a big gap down. There was a gap to fill, right? It rocketed back up. This is wild. Check this out. There was a gap to fill below with big upside on Visa at 201.10. It filled this gap, had a reversal, could have played the call side. You could trade these both ways. I just like personally trading, the market's overall direction is macro. That's why I'm so put focused, because I don't like betting against macro price action, even if I'm trading for the micro, because the macro can kick in at any time. That's why. So that's a key note that I would write down. But anyways, in terms of Visa, once it fills the gap, wait for it to go green to red, wait for the bearish confirmations to form. So right here, it went from green to red. If I were watching this at the time, I would have started buying puts right here, because it went from green to red. It started forming resistance, and it formed a gravestone doji. Gravestone doji is the most bearish candlestick you can see right here. Once it formed at higher resistance, it sold off very hard. And then in terms of that situation, if I were buying puts right here, I wouldn't have gotten out on that rip, because that's not a big enough rip for me to get out of. It's really not. And then in terms of adding, you add into lower highs. You add into the breakdown into support. These are your adding zones. All these ovals are all opportunities to buy puts. The reason why you buy puts there is because of the gravestone doji. That's why. If that gravestone doji is not there, then I would have waited for it to break down more and form lower highs. all confirmations to be buying put options for the gap close reversal on a Visa. Like I had stated within my watch list, and this did happen. I told you guys they can rip back at any time, right? That's why I went with Roblox, because it was already at the previous closing price while everything else sold off. But I told you guys, put focused at the previous closing price rejection. My favorites were SPY, Roblox, Crowd, and Snapchat. They all sold off at the previous closing price. When they ripped back up, they all sold off. And Visa was on the list as well from this. These were all on that list within correlation, right? So the strategy worked. Visa had a gap close reversal, and it sold off back towards lows, right? In terms of where to take profits, you know where the low day is. You know where the gap close reversal support is. In terms of SPY did the same thing. The wild thing with SPY is, and this is why I love the opportunity for put options on Roblox as well, because there was a slight delay in Roblox. SPY had multiple gap close reversals today. I wasn't interested in playing the midday SPY puts. I already told people I wasn't interested in it. I'm gonna, call it for my day. But you could see in the pre-market, SPY hit the previous closing price. It rejected off of 413.81, formed resistance, started breaking down, sold off hard to 405, bounced off of those previous lows that I believe were formed on Wednesday, and then it ripped back up to the previous closing price again, sold off hard, and then it ripped back up to the previous closing price again, sold off hard. You see the gravestone doji. That's your confirmation. That's the best trend reversal confirmation you're going to get in terms of reversals. Right here, it's breaking down. It's forming lower highs, starting to break down support. All confirmations to be buying puts, right? So that was SPY, and the gap close reversal on that one, you could see it's just all within the chart. Look at this. Key support, I went over this in yesterday's video. Key support, big upside potential. Key support, big upside potential. Yesterday, it cracks the support, big downside potential. Today, it turns that support with big upside potential, which is now the previous closing price, the PCP gap close reversal strategy, into a resistance level. In the pre-market, it did it. During midday, it did it twice, and it sold off hard. So much opportunity with this market, not only at market open today, but also in the middle of the day. Absolutely insane, man. If you're trading midday, you got to just trade the best, that gap close reversal, man. You got to just focus on that. So the opportunities are there, guys. They all did it. They all pulled a SPY. Facebook did the same thing. They all did it. I mean, look at the Facebook, the PCP situation on this one today. They all did it. They all absolutely did it, man. The opportunities were endless. Look at Snapchat. This is the best strategy. I am putting you onto something that gets you in at the best price. It's the best setup at the best price. So that is going to be some of the basics of the strategy. In terms of, if you want to learn more about the strategy, it's going to be that second link in the description. If you've been watching my past couple of videos just all this week, the education, the teachings within this strategy, it's just so consistent. It's just so phenomenal. This is all I want to trade. But the second link in the description, I'll leave a link down below. It goes a little bit more in depth and more advanced on that strategy. This is just some of the basics within Trader Society. You get to watch me trade this live every single day at market open. If we get the setup, we take the trade. If we get the confirmation, the reaction, right? That's going to be the first link down below in the description. All the information is explained on the first page if you do want to join Trader Society. So check out that first link. And then in terms of SPY, we need to go over SPY, right? So we need to go over SPY. So what are the plans for next week? Well, we got to see how futures react in terms of Sunday. There's a lot going on with the whole war situation and Putin and all that stuff. So we got to see in terms of how does SPY look? How do things look right now for the micro? So obviously for the macro, we're due for new 52-week lows. It's very, very bearish. In terms of the short term, in terms of the micro, it closed at 411.34. It's currently at 410.70, just a little small mini gap down. So we're really going to just have to wait to see how futures react heading into Sunday. In terms of how does the chart look on the SPY, I would say extremely bullish. I'm extremely micro bullish. It's just the issue is with this whole situation that we have to see what happens in terms of like Monday and then futures as well. But SPY looks very micro bullish. 404, 52-week lows. Right here, it bounces off of 405. It rips back up to fill the gap, right? And you could just see when it rips back up to close the gap right here, it has a reversal, comes crashing back down. SPY has formed higher support bottoming at 405.73, not going back to 405.02. So you can technically say it's higher support. It's trying to form a bullish trend reversal candlestick, and there is a gap to fill above at $429.06. So I am micro bullish on the SPY for a gap fill play. I'm micro bullish on that. not in on any current position, to see a major shift, to see a major reversal, how can you determine when a stock is going to have a major reversal? It's all within the chart, guys. Just look at this. 414 is your big support level. 414 right here, nice upside. 414 right here, nice upside. 414 right here, big upside to fill the gap, right? So right now, it's breaking down. It's reacting as resistance. It's forming a triple top. It's bearish. But if 414 breaks out and reacts as a support level and not as a triple top, not as a resistance, SPY will begin to have the reversal, and within time, it should go up to fill this gap at $429. If you are in put options, I would not risk more than 414 to 416. Right now, I'm sitting on the sidelines. I want to continue to see how it reacts at that 414 key level. That's my main level of interest in seeing how it reacts. And the chart is saying micro bullish. It's just with this whole news and situation that's going on right now, anything can happen. But the chart is saying micro bullish. I don't like chasing puts on SPY this low as well. Think about the people who are buying and holding puts towards this 405 breakdown, thinking the world's going to melt and they're finally going to get that 52-week low they've been waiting for. Like at some point it's going to happen for the macro, but that's a very hard trade for the micro. That's why I like focusing on resistance and trading the previous closing price. Think of all the losers who bought puts at the lows on the SPY and the 405s today, thinking it was going to hit 52-week lows. If they would have just done what I said to do in my previous video, previous closing price, previous closing price, previous closing price, they'd have the best entry. They'd be exposed to very little upside instead of very little downside and big upside, and they'd be getting rich. But they're not subscribed to this channel. They're not using the strategies. Not everyone's going to be a winner. There's a reason why 90% of traders lose money. I mean, just think about it. Who's preaching this strategy? Who's teaching this? Who's trading this? Who's consistently doing what it is that I'm doing? Only people I see really doing it are the ones within Trader Society. So anyways, VIX looks like death. When VIX goes down, SPY goes up. And if you just look at the chart on the VIX, it looks extremely bearish. Why? We've triggered dark blue on the squeeze once again. This is the last time it triggered dark blue on the squeeze with the same candlestick right here towards key resistance, big downside potential. We have a gap to fill below on the VIX at 2542. That gap could fill as early as next week, within some time by Friday. And if that gap fills, the SPY is going to rip up to fill this gap at 429. So in terms of price action and what makes sense, calls are making more sense now in terms of micro. I'm currently on the sidelines. I will tell you this, when SPY rips back up to 429, which at some point it's going to do it, that's when I'm buying puts. So the opportunities are there, guys. Are you seeing this? We're seeing a 414 breakout opportunity to ride for the gap fill. Look for the reversal once it reacts to strong support and it starts breaking out for calls. And then we're seeing there's also another call opportunity if SPY hits 405. And then we're seeing a gap close reversal opportunity to buy puts on SPY at 429. I just gave you 3 opportunities. 2 buying, dip buying at 405, breakout at 414 has to react to support with tight stops at 412 to 411. And then the puts at 429. That's already 3 opportunities. The VIX looks like death. I think it sells off. I think we're on track for a gap fill back to 2540. I'm extremely bearish. Look at the chart. Would you want to buy calls on the VIX right now? Look at the chart. Do you want to buy calls on this? This is a death candle. Triggered blue on the dark squeeze. Resistance, fills the gap, has reversals, sells off hard, fills this gap to fill below, on track to fill this gap below. Look at how it reacts every single time it triggers dark blue on the squeeze indicator, it sells off at resistance. Look at how it reacts every single time it forms this bearish death candle towards resistance. It sells off. Look at this candle right here. It sells off. Look at this candle right here. Very similar situation. You have the red candle right here. You have the red candle right here. You have the red candle right here. Sells off, right? So the VIX looks extremely bearish. So those are going to be my main plays. Those are my main opportunities. Heading into next week, the main setups that I'm seeing are VIX puts and SPY calls, and then VIX calls when the gap fills right here towards this 2542, and SPY puts when the gap fills right here at 429. This is what I do. I am dedicated to trading the best setups at the best prices. I'm not going to sit here all day, waste my time, waste my capital, my portfolio into these terrible setups that are offering such micro returns where you can potentially lose big on as well. I'm just trying to trade the best setups at the best prices. I'm trying to trade those no-brainer setups where it's like, is this something I would go all in on? Is this something where I would put my brand on, my name, my legacy? Is this something that is truly the best setup at the best price? How many times do those come around? I told you guys, about 3 times per week. Lately, there's been about 4 to 5 per week. The opportunity is here. That's all you need. This is all you do. I'm not like these other people. I have a completely different style of trading. And this mindset, it came from losing everything. I've been in situations where I've lost everything. I've blown up my accounts. I've lost my entire net worth. I've been down really, really bad in life at times. And all of that came from all that pain, all that trauma has really gotten me to the place where I am now, where I'm laser focused, I'm disciplined, I understand what works for me. I understand there's other traders who are, trading a lot of setups. They all have different strategies. They have different setups. They scalp, they get in, they get out very rapidly. They make plenty of trades. I'm not like that. I have a specific set of rules. I have a specific set of strategy. It's high quality focused. It ensures me that I'm trading the best setups at the best prices. I'm trading big moves only at key levels. And it's truly the best setups. These are the best situations that I can put myself. And if you're watching these videos, and if you just go back and watch all my videos and you see what happens as time goes on, I give you the key levels, I give you the confirmations, I give you the reactions, I show you how the strategy plays out. If you just look at what happens, the vast majority of the time it's working. Remember how I was saying, wait for SPY puts. If you want to get in the best price, wait for the gap to fill at 427.81. It fills the gap, it sells off hard to 405, right? And then you have people buying puts at 405. I'm like, this was just at 427. Are you kidding me right now? It's like, man, do you want to lose money? And they're like, oh no, it can crack 52-week lows. I can make some money. I'm like, this was just at 427. Why don't you just wait for it to go back up and fill the gap again? Like, trade the most no-brainer smart money setups, right? That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to keep this so easy. I'm trying to get this to a point where people start hating on me on how easy it is. It's just like, man, this is just so easy. You only trade those easy habits. I'm trying to get to that type of level where it's just, this is truly the best thing I can be doing for my portfolio. So the information that I shared with you on the SPY, on the VIX, is going to be game changing into next week. Those are my trading plans currently. There will be more opportunities heading into the pre-market with the new watches that are sent out. So here's the deal. If you do want to be a part of Traders Society, that's my team, that's my group that I work with on a daily basis, where I trade live with them every single day at market open. You get to see my portfolio. You get to see me take these trades that I'm recapping live at market open. Watch me trade live, hear the commentary, see the charts, see the open portfolio. You can ask me questions live on the spot. You also get access to the chat room where you can surround yourself with traders who are dedicated to trading these simple gap trading strategies at the best prices with the best setup, right? So you could surround yourself with the right community. That's the value of our community. We are aware of this setup and what is working and how simple and how easy it can be, like the no-brainer setups, the best setups at the best prices. And we are dedicated to trading those. Like I said, this Roblox trade came from a member who joined yesterday. He gave me the symbol. If he didn't do that, I would have missed out on the setup. It wasn't on my radar. I was looking at other stocks. It happens. But if we all have eyes on the market, and if we're all running scans of setups that correlate with these strategies that I teach within Trader Society, how to find these stocks that correlate with the strategies, if the more eyes we have on these, the better. But we got to keep the group super high quality focused, right? We got to keep it super quality over quantity. So if you feel like this is going to be the right fit for you, if you're serious about taking your trading to the next level, then I would encourage you to join the program and use this weekend to study. Use this weekend to study the video lesson library. We're going to get you prepared to trade heading into Monday morning on Sunday as well with the pre-market watch list. And then you will get to see us trade live at market open, trade the best setups at the best prices during the daily live stream. You get access to the video lesson library where you get to learn how these trading strategies work, how to trade price action step by step. You also get access to the gap trading strategies, all the indicators I use, the PCP strategy, how I set up my charts, how I set up my platform, all of that stuff. It's going to help you so much exponentially with trading options. Psychology, risk management, position sizing, all of that training is included within the video lesson library. You also get access to, you can direct message us. You can one-on-one direct message us on the chat room on the Discord server, and you get access to the real-time stock analysis, the watch list in the pre-market, during the day, the price alerts that I set, the real-time trade alerts, the entries and the exits. It's all included within Trader Society. If you're really looking to take your trading to the next level, use this week to ponder, to study, to become better, and not to party, right? Find a good balance. But this is the opportunity to take your trading to the next level. I've done it for myself, and I've seen members within Trader Society. I've seen people go from, go from 5 figures to 6 figures. I've seen accounts change. I've seen lives change within this program. Within time, you will hear about their stories. I already have a couple people in mind where I do have to take the time, interview them, document the stories. I've seen it. We have one trader in here. He's a moderator within the chat who's mastered SPY both ways. He's worth over 9 figures, and he can help assist you within the chat as well. He's very active. So with that being said, this is going to wrap up today's video lesson. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, guys. This has truly been a blessing week. I mean, these past 2 days alone have been absolutely amazing. So it truly is a blessing to have something that works and to have these opportunities within the market. The stock market can be a blessing if you understand how it works and if you're disciplined enough to trade the best setups at the best prices. If you continue to watch these videos, you would truly understand and have a sense of what it is that I'm doing. So, and just see how it plays out. See how it plays out. See how time tells. See how history repeats itself. It works. It's all within the videos. So with that being said, I will see you guys till then. If you want to join Trader Society, it's a one-time fee. It's lifetime access. It's the first link down below in the description.